What do you see for the future? Jewish American community, the connections with Israel, with
Well, as far as philanthropy is concerned, we have, don't quote me on these numbers, I think it's $47 trillion that are coming into the yuppie population. And of that 47 trillion, there's 1.5 or 6 trillion that should be designated for philanthropic needs. So that will be a major challenge of ours, and we are working on it already, is to how to attract those dollars. And certainly when we attract those dollars, Israel will get what we feel is a good portion of it. So
how do you attract those dollars or the involvement of the CRP community?
well,
How do you
many
approach?
of them already are connected to our Jewish community, because many of the dollars will come into people that we already have as our family. So with them, it'll be much easier than attracting. See, the hardest part in philanthropy is teaching somebody how to give. I mean, they may have the money and they may not feel secure or comfortable with giving money. So if these yuppies aren't attracted to any organization, or they don't feel comfortable, then the money will go to Uncle Sam. And that'll be it. But there are so many ways that they could give to our community.
What do you feel is changed in the approach needed to approach those young generations?
Well,
You've been around in this philanthropy thing in different generation. You see the young people.
right.
And
I don't, for the most part, feel that they're connected so strongly with Israel. And that's too bad. They don't, for the most part, feel the Holocaust connection to Israel or to American Jewry. So that piece is going to be harder for us to cultivate them. But again, it's people to people. If we have some of that group of people who are passionate and give what they are capable of giving, then we shouldn't worry about it so much, because they will bring in people. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. There's a lot of strategies that are being put in place to hopefully help this situation.
if I want to be involved in connecting in between Jews in Israel and Jews in the diaspora, what will be your advice for me?
Well, taking people to Israel has always been a winner, and I think always will be a winner if they go to Israel and have a nice experience. Now, some people aren't going to have a nice experience no matter what you do, but for the most part, if they're open to the experience of Israel, then they will be open to giving, to helping Israel.
And what would you recommend? Because I really feel that the missing part is what happens with them after they visit to Israel. What would you do? Creative things that worked in the past. How do you recommend to connect those 20, 30 something with Jewish causes or with Israel?
If they've had a productive mission, if it's been a good time for them, and they feel a little more rooted and connected with Israel, then you have to keep that group together. You have to keep that group together socially and possibly plan other experiences right here for them.
So the social part has has an importance.
I think the social part has a big importance for that age group. Real big importance. You know, there's many things you can do to recreate the Israel experience.
Yeah, and those are methods.
Methods, yeah. And possibly trips to other Jewish communities in the United States helps them to think of
What can they
their Israel experience or how they can help.
We have